Hey, welcome back, everybody. So we're going to start doing fantasy creatures today. And fantasy creatures, anything can happen, right? It's your own imagination. You can make whatever you want. And that seems kind of daunting, at least for me. So what I've done is I've looked at a bunch of fantasy creature drawings from like movies, from books, from classical mythology. And I've just noticed some trends, okay? And some ways that we can approach them and kind of help us in making up our own creatures. So the first trend we're going to look at is exaggerating, okay? So what that means is we're taking an existing animal and we're going to exaggerate its features. So maybe it's big, right, like an elephant, and we're going to make it bigger. Or maybe it's got, long limbs. You can make them longer. You're just going to take certain aspects of it and you're going to just push it as much as you can. Well, not as much as you can, until what you think looks good. And until it becomes maybe your own design, okay, your own unique creature. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at some examples of this, and then we're going to draw our own. So let's look at this one here. Okay, some sort of reindeer, right? It's got antlers. They put multiple sets of antlers on this thing. Okay, pretty much other than that, I mean, there's not too much going on. I mean, it's got maybe more fur, thicker in parts, but other than that, just add in the antlers to make their own creature. All right, a completely different style of drawing here, like a painting. You got fish, but they just took aspects of fish. Maybe the eyes kind of low, they lowered it, give some sharp teeth, multiple sets of fins. No idea what size these are in relation to a human, but they're obviously bigger than these little creatures here. But you can just see taking things and just kind of pushing it in a direction that makes it look like its own unique creature. Some fish have some of these skinny little hanging, I don't know what they are, not really fins. But, so you put them on this fish, right? And some have a elaborate fin on the top, but, put that there on something that looks a little more like an eel. But anyways, made its own unique thing. Okay, these are from actually the Lord of the Rings movie. And there are these creatures called wargs, but they're, these kind of like wolf, hyena-y looking things. More like, I guess, giant wolves, I guess, and traditionally. But they also gave them this kind of hyena-looking feel, which makes them look pretty evil. Here's another one too. This one's a little more wolf-like, but you can just see it's just a little more muscular. Things are just pushed a little bit further. Maybe the tail, right? The tail's different than it would be on a wolf. Bigger, right? Hairier, more stooped. In the head. Just taking things and tweaking them a bit. Here's another one from Lord of the Rings, and it's called a Mumakil, but it's basically like a giant elephant, okay? So if an elephant's big, they've made it bigger. If an elephant has tusks, they've given more tusks, right? And maybe larger tusks, or they put them in a different place. But taking what's there and pushing it in different directions. Here's a very similar one from I think it's from a game, I'm not sure. But you could see that it's based off an elephant, right? But given some aspects that look a little more like a dinosaur, tusks look a little more like tentacles, just pushing things in a different direction. Okay, this is one based kind of like off a cat, right? It looks kind of like a saber-toothed tiger. So the fangs are longer. It's got kind of like a mane, on the back. Some parts that are the hair is a bit thicker, and the tail's got kind of a tuft there, right? But basically, it's a cat, just kind of pushed quite a bit. Here's another one that looks cat-like, right? Just looks a little larger, a little more muscly. And this one, kind of panther-like, just basically a cat, giving it a longer tail, taking this little thumb claw, making it longer. Then obviously in this one they added these little, I don't know what you'd call those, little frilly-looking things in the back of its head. Here's a really unique one, right? A giraffe, okay? So, basic body form of a giraffe. And then they obviously took the neck and made it a lot thicker and more menacing looking. But, the body shape is really similar to a giraffe, just made taller and bigger. And then in the head, they obviously went a little crazy, right? And made it very different and gave it this elaborate looking, I don't even know what you'd call that, horn fin thing. And you can even see a little remnant of the giraffe horns right there. Here's another cat one. Looks very similar to a real cat, and the tail is just a lot longer. All right, here's one that looks kind of like a lizard, a salamander-y looking thing, right? Just taking things. It's got legs, gave it more legs. Body's long, made it longer. Um, the head looks quite a bit different, right? Giving it this little like horn kind of thing there. All right, here is a spider, but just taken and made larger, exaggerating how big the mandibles are. Spider legs actually look a little more crab-like, but you know, maybe this could be like a mixed creature, which we'll be doing soon. Okay, centipede just on overdrive here, right? Just the sets of legs. They even put looks like some sets of legs in the middle. I'm not sure. So it's got legs on the outside, legs on the inside, even legs looking around the face, and just pushed it as far as you could. This is a classic looking hydra, and kind of like a serpent with lots of heads, right? I mean, it's just okay, here's a snake. Well, let's just add a bunch more snake bodies to this, okay, and kind of put them all together. Okay, now that we've looked at some examples, let's go ahead and make our own. So we're going to base it off this picture of a rhinoceros, okay? So we're going to take it and see what we can push on it. And a rhinoceros is pretty easy. It's got, horns, so we can maybe make more horns. It's pretty big, so we can make it bigger. It's got this very thick looking skin, so maybe we can make it thicker and more like armor. Okay, so I'm going to start with the general body shape. And it's got a chest that kind of goes like that, and then it's got a head that droops down. So that's one thing I can try to maybe exaggerate, right? Is it's kind of drooping down kind of head here, and it's big body. So let's see, his head's over here. So I'm going to use the basic form that I've got here, right? Here's his leg. His face is closer to the ground than I think I even drew. And I'm kind of like, I guess, doing some sort of gesture drawing, just to get the position of this guy. And it's nice to pick out details and use things that are actually there, because that kind of helps us with the anatomy. With the, I don't know, with just minute details. So here's his back leg. Joint there, and then his foot. So I can make his foot a little bigger if I want to. For the larger size, I make his back leg a little bigger. Okay. Okay, so my rhino is kind of looking this way a little bit. So here's his shovel face. So you want to exaggerate the right things. And you want to exaggerate things, right, the way they are. So if he has little eyes, you don't give him big eyes, right? He's got a big tusk, you don't give him a small tusk. Give him a bigger tusk, right? So maybe I'll do this like double bone tusk thing going on. He's already got two, so we're gonna add a, so it looks kind of serrated maybe, I don't know. Again, we can add more tusks, so I'm gonna go ahead and add kind of like an elephant tusk kind of dealio. I don't see a nose there, but I'm gonna imagine he's got some sort of breathing apparatus. Okay, he's got a nice little beady eye, so I'm gonna keep that eye nice and small. And maybe I want to just kind of add even more tusks kind of going back on his spine here. All right, so let's look here. So they've got this really thick folding skin, right? So let's maybe make it a little saggier and more foldy, rolly. All right. Okay, maybe I want to like armor up his skin a little bit, maybe. Got kind of thick armor skin. Let's give him like maybe actual like plates. Get smaller as they get down here, like the big fat plates on the top. Get smaller maybe as they get down there. It's just like loose skin. All right. It's got a little tail there. Kind of like the little tail. Kind of helps him feel big. All right. Feeling good. Let's move on to the darker pencil here. Add some of those wrinkles around the eyes. Nice and wrinkly looking. Right, so I'm going to bring the skin around this tusk here. Kind of dark down there under the nose. I'll keep it dark. Excuse me. Draw lots of scarring or kind of crack lines and stuff like this. Nose tusk has been through a few battles. Same with this one here. All right, lots of shadow under the neck here and the stomach. We're going to stick with that. Add some nice contrast to the image. All right, trying to get this plate thing here started. All right, and these smaller small little plates kind of there. All right, trying to do some hatching there a little bit just to give it some texture. Sorry, my drawing all over the place. Throw his back leg in shadow over here. Same with that back leg over there. All right, just working my way back. Last few plates over here. So I like to add little texture lines here on things, just when I want things to feel rough and like not smooth. So trying to communicate that with these little lines there to give it some texture. All right. All right, Fluffy's almost done. Little tail. All right, and that'll just about do it for our rhino creature. Hopefully you guys had fun exaggerating this animal, and hopefully you came up with a good, unique looking creature. And stay tuned for the next fantasy creature drawing.